Following is a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2015 FCIAC Cross Country Championships, live from Waveney Park in New Canaan on the HAN Network. Along with Dave Stewart, I'm Rob Adams. Sunny day, thus the sunglasses as we come on, but a beautiful day, Dave. Temperatures in the 70s. I've been saying it as we've been building up to this day. Do runners like this kind of day?
This is perfect running weather. It might be a little, if it was a little bit cooler, it might help you.
Yeah.
I would think so.
And, as we get ready for this championship, and of course we'll see the freshmen to get things started, then the varsity, then JV later on, the sense I get, of course, is Hannah DeBalzi once again looking for what would be an unprecedented third straight title. She's just been so good. We saw her here last year. On the other side, for the boys, Eric Vanderels of McMahon is pretty good, but you also have Gabe Altop, who came in fourth last year. So, who's got it going this year?
I think the people you mentioned are the people to watch. I mean, Hannah is. Hannah's going to be one of the obviously is the top runner. She should win her third straight this year. She has the course record she set 2 years ago, and she won by over a minute last year. So she's good. I saw Eric run earlier this year, and he's looking awesome. And I think the only person I'll challenge him is Gabe Altop.
So the freshmen will be getting underway in just a moment, and you and I are varsity guys. We follow so much varsity sports. Do you have a feel for the younger runners at all? I can't be honest to say that I truly know the young runners as well. It's certainly the varsity that we keep an eye on.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I don't know too much about the freshman race. That's what's great about it, is that it's kind of new kids developing. A lot of these kids will go on and do well later on. And in future years,
we're glancing over toward the starting line as the freshman race gets ready to get underway. A good crowd on hand today. They'll continue to file in here as the afternoon goes along, but pretty exciting to get it going here momentarily. And away they go in the girls' freshman division. You heard the starter's gun go off, and away we go.
And that's a 2.5K race for the freshmen.
So you get a sense early on as they work their way across. And what's really cool about today is not only we've got the cameras all here, the whole crew running cameras all throughout the place, but we also have some periscope work as well. So you can follow that, and then you'll see some of the shots right here.
That'll be interesting. I don't really know too much about periscope, but it looks pretty cool.
I mean, you're a technology guy. You got
not really.
No,
but,
not really.
Not really. No, I like it, but it's I'm not the type of guy who really knows the ins and outs of it.
As you can see, some of the runners beginning to make their way across the access road here at Waveney Park and heading down as they go into the woods. And you can see the pace car ahead of them beginning to head out of view. We actually were able to take a ride around the course in one of the carts that was here. Eric Gendron and Mike Suppy and myself went for a ride. You're far more familiar with this park than I am. What's it like to run here?
It's really a gem for this part of the state. Like Wickham Park up in Manchester is where they do the state tournaments, and that's a nice park too, but it's a little more hilly. This is a little more spread out, and just the beauty here is great.
A minute 20 into the girls' race. The boys' freshman race will line up momentarily, and they'll get that one going as well on what is, just as we mentioned, an absolutely beautiful day. Temperatures were expected to be in the low 70s, and the last I checked, they were in the low 70s.
Yeah, it's good. They always get good weather for this, knock on wood. They've been lucky over the years.
They have indeed. I know we had pretty decent weather here last year, and you'd be certainly comfortable in a pair of shorts today. I can't deny that as we take a look. 73 degrees at the starting gun today.
Good.
So I thought that actually would be a touch too hot.
Yeah. It depends on the humidity. It's not that humid today, and there's a little bit of a breeze, so I'm sure that helps. They seem to. I'm sure the runners will like this type of weather.
As we're getting a look, and I believe that was from the pace cart there for a moment, you got to look as they headed down into the woods. And, it's all, I know, is in talking with athletes and there it is again, as we went through the FCIAC tour, there was always the conversation of, and I was very curious because I've done very minimal running, obviously, but to know where they go to when they run, what's that happy place that they're not out there running with iPods and iPhones and they're just running.
Yeah.
What's the happy zone? Where do they go?
Well, I just feel like it's just like any other sport. You got to get into a rhythm and you get into your zone and you have a strategy and you go and you use it. Either you're going to lay back and for the final kick, or you're just going to go from the get-go and see what happens. Somebody like Hannah DeBallsy can just go out there and probably run forever. In fact, you'll see her I'm sure after she's one of those runners that after they're done, you'll see her going out running around a little bit more just to cool down. And everybody's got their own strategy, and you just have to find that zone.
I see an interesting tweet from John Nash. I like John. He does some good work. But his tweet was, and I'll quote him, "Girls and boys FCIAC freshman races are only 2.5K. Kids aren't going to get better if you don't challenge them." What do you think?
I don't know. Because I'm not a running coach. People do say that they like to build kids up to a certain running, and I know that's the way runners usually do it. Is they run shorter distances and then work their way up. I don't know how I feel about that. That's the freshman race is 2.5 miles or 2.5K. That's always been the way they've done it, and it seems to have worked well for them. But it's a thought.
I guess in my foolish mind, once you hit high school, a football field is still 100 yards. So why not? Why not run at the same course? I don't know.
It could. I'm sure it has something to do with the age of the kids too. Younger kids. If you go to middle school, they run shorter distances than they will in high school too. And obviously, freshmen's 1 year out of middle school. So.
Good job. A good point by John bringing that up. It was just not really something I'd put a whole lot of thought into. So I think that's an excellent point by John Nash. In any event, we keep an eye on what's going on the course at this point, and we heard a lot about pack running as well during the FCIAC tour, and you can see folks trying to encourage the runners, and some of the girls certainly running in a pack indeed. So you get a sense for how they're out there, and we shouldn't be too much longer before we start seeing some people coming back this way.
Oh yeah, and the good thing about the freshman races is a lot of these runners go on and they do good things in later races, which is just awesome because you might be seeing some people. Might see some people who will do well in the future.
Hannah DeBallsy, by the way, committed to Stanford last night. I know she was looking at Harvard as well, but congratulations to her. I know that was a very big deal.
Well, that's where West Hills Claire Howlett, I believe, and
I think you're right.
And Alex Osberg from Darien are there too. So they've got a little bit of a pipeline going now from here. So that's three really good runners. Alex
Osberg was a dominant runner on the men's side, and certainly last year we had him here when we were still HAN Radio. We talked to him here at New Canaan, so he was quite a runner to see as well.
Yeah, and Claire Howlett was a Gatorade runner of the year 1 year. So I think when she was a senior. So, but these are top flight people.
And again, another look from the pace car. Mike Suppy riding in that pace car.
Looks a little bumpy there.
And I was going to say, understand, folks, that it is a little bumpy, so keep that in mind. Mike's doing his best out there. And as we rode the course, Jay Egan was so nice to let us take one of the carts. Eric drove. Mike sat up front, and I was kind of in the back in that kind of bucket area, the holding area. I was told all
the family dog.
Yeah, that's kind of what I felt like. At one point, my legs were hanging over the sides, So they continue on. Freshman boys are getting ready to line up in a moment.
I've been in the back of that cart, too. It's got to get your balance.
I expected Jay to yell at us, actually. He pulled up behind us at one point while we were on the course, and I thought, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. He was going to tell me to get out, and I have to walk the rest of it, which wouldn't have been the most fun thing in the world for me. So we're keeping an eye on things, and the first race off and running. You getting a good sense for playoffs in other sports in the FCIAC at this point, Dave?
Boys soccer is kind of wild right now because there's so many teams jammed up. We probably won't know the quarterfinalists until the last day of the season. And even like I was trying to determine who was going to have home games, and you really can't right now.
Yeah.
You know, maybe one more game, and one more time through, and we'll have a couple of home teams. But I have a feeling that 3rd and 4th seed, which would be a home game for the quarterfinals, will go down to the final day. The girls' soccer is a little. You've got St. Joe's and Ward. St. Joe's beat Ward 2-1 the other day, and
right.
those are pretty clear cut. St. Joe's is probably the best team, but Ward is right there, and they're the defending champs too. So those are the two, and then everybody else is kind of jockeying for a position. And field hockey right now, it's Darien, and then everybody else kind of trailing. Although as we showed last year, Wilton was in the same boat that Darien's in this year, and they got knocked off by New Canaan in the semis. So that's a little bit closer than people might think.
Back on board the pace car with Mike Suppy. And again, Mike just kind of bouncing around out there. It is tough terrain to ride around in. We were doing it, as I mentioned earlier. So
we should have run an ad for Dramamine there. So
would have been appreciated.
Yeah.
So first race moving at about 8 minutes and 50 seconds now, coming up on the 9-minute mark. Freshman boys beginning to line up, and that race will get going in a moment. As we turn past the 9-minute mark, and you can sense as they're coming up past Waveney House. At least that's what that area looks like. Dave, you probably know it better than I do.
Yeah, they're coming up towards the road right here, so they should be here.
There we go.
Yep. I was wondering where you were getting those times for. You have a good angle at
I can see the clock.
The clock there.
So at 9:25, they clear the road. Here is Jay Egan and Mike Suppy. So it gives you an idea of what Mike is going through. That's Mike in the back, spun around with a hat on shooting. So that's Mike Suppy, and here come the runners. And there's about a second or two between those two lead runners.
They're going to be coming up here right on our left.
Yep.
Or on the right, sorry.
There was a New Canaan. Looks like it's at Danbury as well. And here they come. You can hear the crowd getting into it as they approach. Going to be tight right at the very end. And just about 10 minutes and 9 seconds was what I caught unofficially for the final time. As you can see, more runners making their way in past the pace car. And so the first race of the day comes to an end. So we'll get the official results as soon as they are tabulated. And we're also pleased we're going to be joined by a special guest analyst for a bit, so we're looking forward to that. First race is in the books. The girls' race is done. We'll let you know who won, all the details as soon as we can. We'll also get some guests as we move along on this beautiful afternoon from Waveney Park in New Canaan. Boys freshmen coming up. We pause right here on the 2015 FCIAC Cross Country Championships, Waveney Park in New Canaan on the HAN Network.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Welcome back to Waveney Park in New Canaan. I'm Rob Adams, and the first race now done, and we welcome in, along with Dave Stewart, we welcome in a special guest analyst. Armstrong Noonan is with us here from Darien. Get that microphone right up to you and get comfortable, and thanks. I mean, there's a good news, bad news here. The good news is we're thrilled to have you. The bad news is you're standing with us today.
Right.
Tell us what happened.
So I am injured right now with a bilateral stress reaction. It is what it is. I got diagnosed with it a month ago, and it kind of came as a shock. I really wasn't doing anything too crazy with my training. I was running 50 miles at the time, and I was gradually building up. But I was feeling a little bit of pain, and that's when I really went to the doctor, and the diagnosis came. But so far I've taken a month off, and I've been cross-training every day. But other than that, I am sorry to miss this race because I really wanted to run and make sure my times were, I'd be hitting some good times to the season. But I think my first race back is going to be at States Class L's, so I'm looking forward to that.
All right, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dave jumps back in.
Yeah. Are you going to be able? You're going to be able to run for the States then? Are you looking forward to that?
I am, and I think we're going to have a very strong team showing as well.
Mm-hmm.
I know Darien's looking to be very competitive this year at the Class L meet. And I know we're definitely in contention to win, so that's going to be our main goal.
What's the difference between this course and Wickham?
Wickham, I've always had an interesting relationship with Wickham. I think it's a very difficult course, and it's obviously in comparison to the times that you run at the FCIAC race, in comparison to what you run at States at Wickham, you can definitely see that I'm not just making that up. People do struggle with that course, and I think the real difference is the Green Monster. If you're familiar with Wickham, there's a humongous hill in the middle of the course. I want to say it's directly after the mile marker, probably at a mile and a half, and it really will drain you if you're not prepared for it.
Is it long or is it steep?
I would say it's more gradual, and it gets to have a steep part, but it's more long so than steep in my opinion.
Okay.
But I do think that this course is relatively flat, even though there's one hill in the back. But for the most part, kids tend to hammer this course, so it's a lot faster.
Yeah, there's the little incline up, but it's really not that dramatic at the end.
Right.
Yeah, so that's a good thing.
Yeah,
I guess.
Exactly.
Racers continuing to come in on the girls' side, the girls' freshman side. So how long have you been running?
I've been running since my freshman year. I didn't do cross country, actually. I started out playing soccer. I was a freshman soccer captain, so I thought I was all cool in that sport. But, I decided to actually, I during the tryouts freshman year for soccer, I ended up running 11-ish minutes in the 2-mile. And I was thinking to myself, wow, I must have a talent. So I decided to pursue indoor track that year. And it turned out to be a great fit, and I love the sport. So ever since I've been running, so it definitely worked in my favor.
We're getting a look at the boys as they get lined up to get off and running. What's going through their mind at this point?
They got to be nervous. I tell you what, when I was a freshman, I used to get severely nervous for races. I know for a fact that my team especially likes to have fun. So I know that as a young group of kids out on the line, I think their nerves are up, the intensity's high. I know they all want to prove themselves to their coaches and their families and their teammates. So I know what the feeling's like. I definitely think that it's going to be a close race. I think we're going to see a battle.
Now, as I look at it, and this is me, from a layman's point of view, I see the teams all grouped together. Is there a particular spot you want to be standing in?
That's an interesting way to think about it. I personally like the middle of the pack, and I think just from a starting standpoint, it makes it a lot easier to get yourself ahead, right? So I don't like starting on the sides as much because you feel like everyone closes in, and when the gun goes off, the kids in the middle are the ones who tend to get ahead first. So in a position sense, I would like to be in the middle. I'm glad to see my team is right smack dab in the middle, I can tell you that. But I think positioning in a freshman race should not be too much of a problem. I think these guys are going to be pretty antsy, and they'll get out quickly. I have confidence in that.
Do you get a feel for who would win this kind of race? Again, Dave and I, as we said a few minutes ago, we focus so much on varsity sports.
Right.
And it's hard to get a feel for what the JV or freshman will do.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that, these kids are up-and-coming stars, so I know that there's some good kids on Staples I'd like to watch. I can't remember their names, but I know there's a couple good Staples runners. We have a couple studs on Darien. I know Grinch's got a couple kids. Ridgefield looks pretty strong right now, too. They've got a strong showing. But for the most part, I think these teams have a lot of depth, and I'm glad to see that for when they make the varsity level. I know Danbury always produces some good runners, so I think it'll be a battle between those teams.
All right, waiting for the gun. You can kind of hear the announcement. Asking if Stamford is ready. And off they go.
The start on this field's always pretty dramatic, too. It's with just a multitude of runners coming across the field at the road.
Definitely out pretty quickly, too. I see a couple kids breaking away already.
All right, second race off and running. And we're gonna shift things up here in just a moment. We'll bring in a guest. So Army will step out for a moment. He's going to be with us, though, as long as he wants to stick around. And we're going to bring in a guest here in a moment. Dave, you can put your headset back on. And we've got our first winner of the afternoon. As soon as she's comfortable and ready, bring her right on in and hand her a headset. All right, first winner of the day, and we congratulate her on the freshman race. It is Natalie Sepio, is that correct? Sapio. Natalie, congratulations from Danbury High School.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I've watched you come down that final stretch. There was a New Canaan runner just a few steps ahead of you. Take me through that.
So around the end of the race, I was listening to my coach's advice, and she was coaching me on when to start picking it up, and she told me, don't wait, don't you dare wait, start now. So that was when I knew I had to pick it up and keep going from there.
How about emotionally? How do you keep that together? Because now it's here. I mean, it's the FCIAC championship is within your reach, and you've got to get around this young woman from New Canaan. How do you keep your emotions together?
Well, my coach tells me that it's like running with your mind is almost the same as running with your body. So sometimes she has to coach us what she says from the shoulders up to keep us prepared mentally for our races.
All right, emotionally, you come across the line. What was that like?
I was shocked.
Did you expect to come out here and win?
I didn't.
You did not. Did not.
Have you run at this course before? Or?
I've never run here.
Really? What did you think?
Well, I like the course.
Well, you win. I guess you gotta like the course, right? But did you what specifically did you like about the course? Was it
there were subtle downhills.
Okay.
Sometimes really steep downhills hurt. So these weren't too bad. They were easy to start picking up on, to go faster on the downhills.
As you're running out there, and I've heard from so many runners about the packs, you keep the packs together. Where did you decide that you're going to break away a little bit and stay toward the front?
At the beginning of the race, Coach, he told me that I should start moving up because he saw where I was. I was around 10th at the beginning, so he said you should not be that far back. So I decided to stay with the front group, the top 5.
Did you catch your time? I had you right around 10:10, I think it was, 10:09.
My goal time was 10:40.
No kidding. This is a heck of a day for her.
That's awesome. That's great.
Congratulations. And does this kind of make you want to are you interested in staying in cross country? And, of course, I would imagine this would encourage you to do even more.
Well, I've been running with a middle school track and field team for around 4 years, I think. And I just plan on continuing doing track and cross country throughout high school.
That's fantastic. Natalie, congratulations. Go enjoy this moment with your teammates and your family as well, and just a great job. I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
Off to a great start.
Absolutely. Natalie Sapio from Danbury High School wins the girls' freshman race, so congratulations to her. The boys continue on as we get a look on the course, although right now we're not seeing too much in terms of runners right now, but we'll see if they can get that straightened out. So the boys race off and running. The varsity up next as we look around here at at Waveney Park. Here comes a runner right now. In fact, it looks like a Trumbull runner going through the shot. All right, and that was the work of Brooke Laird, one of our periscopers here today, which is pretty cool, Dave.
Awesome. It looks like awesome stuff, yeah.
As we come back live, Natalie's still with us. And so we are 4 minutes and 37 seconds into this second race. As we get another look. And we can continue on here.
Thank you.
And we thank Natalie again.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Natalie. And that's pretty cool. You don't expect to win, and you're shocked
That's
when you
it's
do.
best, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Definitely when it's best.
Can't help but notice as she's walking away, though. She's definitely limping just a hair.
Hey, you make that final push that she did, and it'll take a lot out of you.
Well, she was still somewhat out of breath as she stood over here with us, which I think also had as much to do with the adrenaline of standing between you and I.
Yeah, there you go. This is the big time now.
So boys race going on. They are at 5 minutes and 35 seconds here on the HAN network. And grateful to everyone for joining us on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Just absolutely beautiful. Temperatures in the low 70s. You were mentioning boys soccer a little earlier. I think that is going to be one heck of a tournament.
It's interesting because last year Ludlow was like the clear-cut favorite, and this year there's a lot of teams that nobody really. I mean, there's teams like Greenwich and Staples and Danbury, and these teams are doing very well, and Ludlow's in there, but there's nobody who's really rolling to the extent that you say, okay, that's the team everybody has to beat. And,
no.
I really can't put my finger on it at this point.
No, I agree.
Wilton's right in there, too.
Yeah. I think even Norwalk kind of in the mix.
Norwalk's a little I think Norwalk's a little behind where they wanted to be, but they're in there. But it's wide open. It definitely is. So it'll be very interesting.
I know we saw Norwalk against Ludlow, and I was impressed with the Bears. I mean, they only lost by 1, and for having to play the majority of the match a man down due to a red card, they were pretty good.
Yes. Yep. They have a good program over there. So even on down years, their down years are probably good for a lot of other programs.
We are 7 minutes into the boys freshman race, getting ready for the varsity after this. And from what we could see, we didn't get the official time, but I thought I had heard about 10:09 on that first race.
Looks like we're getting the drone up there.
In fact, we should talk about the course as soon as we can, and I know I want to bring Army back in for that discussion, Dave, because I know we've got a map of the course that Eric Gendron can call up for us, and you and Army know the course much better than I do, so to have you guys kind of break it down, I think that'd be a good thing.
Yeah. The course is it's different than what they run during the regular season. So most of it is on the entire race on that, and during the regular season is on the other side of the road, so they're not even over here. Whereas with this, because of the size of the number of people they have in the race, the field, they have to have more space to start it.
Here they come, Dave, down to the line in the boys' race. We'll get a shot. There's the shot of the finish line coming up. Here they come. We are at 8:19 right now. A big lead toward the finish. 8:29. Right around 8 minutes and 29 seconds for the winner of the boys' freshman race. More runners will come in, of course. But how about that? You come out to Waveney Park. You want to run well, but you set a time of 10:40. You wind up right around 10:10, and you win the FCIAC championship as a freshman.
Got to be feeling good.
I would think
really
so.
Good. That's you set a goal. If you meet it, you're happy. If you beat it by that much, it's remarkable.
I agree. As more runners come across, we're past the 9-minute mark. I'd still be out there. First catching my breath.
Yeah, I've walked a long way on these days, taking pictures and stuff, and then it's really, by the end of the day, you feel it, you know. I'm not running it, so.
From what I could tell, by the way, it was someone from Staples who won. But again, I believe Kate Chaplinsky's serving as getting us the information. So as soon as she's got it, and Kate looks like she's got a. Kate has brought a McMahon runner over. I see that. Runners continue to come across. Varsity girls coming up in just a couple of minutes. As we pass almost 10.5 minutes in this boys freshman race. And we will pause for a break. When we come back, we will have a guest join us here in our booth, our tent, if you will. Dave and I come back. We continue on from the FCIAC Cross Country Championships on the HAN Network.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Welcome back to Waveney Park in New Canaan, the 2015 FCIAC Cross Country Championships on the HAN Network. Dave Stewart stepped out for a moment. I'm Rob Adams, and we are joined by the boys champion. Angel Vicioso ran it in 8 minutes and 2 seconds. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, I'll ask you exactly what I asked Natalie Sapio when she won on the girls' side. You kind of come across as you're getting closer. What's going through your mind? Take me mentally inside.
Oh, mentally? I just, the entire season I've been preparing for this moment, so you just want to give it your all in the last stretch.
And you gave it everything you had. Where is that moment that you break off on the course from the rest of the pack? Is there a moment that you kind of find another gear?
Yeah, I kind of studied the course, so I knew the last turn I should start kicking it from there, so it was like I had a plan. Well, still tough, but
it's still tough.
When I heard 200 meters, I just accelerated.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. By the way, who are these people behind the camera?
That's my sister, my younger sister, my dad, and my mom.
All right. I'm sure they're pretty happy today as well.
Yeah.
Was this, of course, winning is a goal, but did you realistically wake up this morning and go, I intend to win this race?
Yes. I came in very, very aggressively because that's what I wanted to do. That was my goal, to come in one of the top spots. So I achieved it, and I'm very happy.
How about goal for the future? You going to stay with this? Is this something you really want to do?
Yeah, I want to continue cross country for my high school career.
How about the rest of your team? How they look, and how much can you kind of propel them?
Well, I have Eric on my team. He's a great athlete, and Ajax, my two captains, and my teammates. They support me very well. It's a nice experience.
Sounds like it's been a great day for all of you. All right, go rejoin your family. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Angel Vicioso, he is the boys champion in the freshman division, 8 minutes, 2 seconds. We'll let him head out and rejoin his family. Thanks for his time. And we continue on here from Waveney Park. We get ready for the start of the girls' championship, which is coming up momentarily. Now, this is varsity as we head in here, and Angel, a well-deserved water as well, as he goes off and indeed does join his family, and that's pretty cool stuff. So congratulations to him. 8 minutes, 2 seconds. Again, all those are unofficial times, but we trying to keep an eye on the times as best as we can. And the girls will do their thing. We'll get Army back in here in a moment as well, so we can take a look at the course a little closer, because I know Eric has got that all lined up. We also have some footage that we shot with our good old trusty drone, which has become kind of good old trusty. Here is the course, in fact, and you can see there are different ways to run it, because the girls are going to run it in one pattern, the boys go in another pattern. And when we first took a look at it, we all kind of had a laugh at it, saying, well, this is like a bad John Madden Telestrator picture, but you get the idea of exactly what they'll run here. New Canaan High School off to the far right of the course as you're looking basically to the north in that view. 2 minutes to the girls' race in the meantime. As more make their way in, and the course gets cleared for the varsity. And joining me now, here inside our booth, the trustworthy tent, is my HAN Network colleague and host of Coffee Break, Kate Chaplinsky. Kate?
Thanks, Rob. I thought you were going to call me trustworthy, but...
Oh, you're always trustworthy. Absolutely.
Well, Rob, I've been hanging out at the finish line. I've been grabbing, a couple of the winners as they come by. But I did want to announce, it takes them a while to compile it, but I want to announce the top 5 girls in the freshman race.
Okay.
And as you talked to Natalie Sapio of Danbury, and her time was 10:10. Actually, she's tied for second with Elizabeth Tedford of New Canaan, also at 10:10. Maggie Leatherwood of Fairfield Ludlow with 10:12. Emily Dowdle of New Canaan with 10:15. And Elena Tiller of New Canaan with 10:18, rounding out the top 5.
All right. Boys have yet to come across officially. And, again, we glanced 8:02. That's what Angel told me when he walked over. So, those times are always unofficial until they tally them all up over there. Right. But as you get a look at the finish line, do you have any impressions? I know this is kind of your first go-around, certainly all of our first go-around doing it at this level, but any impressions as you stand over there watching?
I mean, I'm just amazed with, first of all, how sweet the kids are when I ask them to come get interviewed after they just ran, so fast and they're out of breath, and they've all been happy to come over and chat with you and talk to the HAN Network. But, there's just a lot of excitement. And what was really nice is for Angel and Natalie, they're getting high fives from all the other teams. Like, oh, my gosh, good job. Like, there seems to be a lot of camaraderie and, really nice. Yeah, I'm always impressed by the sportsmanship at this event.
I think it's, so highly competitive are things like football and basketball, and, and teams may shake hands afterwards, but there's more of that kind of,
Yeah.
This seems a little more, I don't know if realistic's the right word, but I think camaraderie is the best word for it.
Yeah, they're definitely cheering for each other. It's really nice to see. And I know the next race is going to get started soon.
Yep, we're at 2:50 right now, so we should just about be ready to fire off the gun. Guys, are we ready? And indeed, you might be able to hear the "Guys, are you ready?" from the starter, who will climb up onto his stepladder.
That's very important.
Okay, non-runners, step back, please.
So this will be the start of varsity girls, and of course, Hannah DeBalzi looking for her 3rd straight title. And away they go.
Wow.
And as you see, they all go off in a group, staying with their team at least initially. But I think I spied Hannah DeBalzi get a nice little jump on things.
All right, Rob. Well, I'm going to head back to the finish line and check if they have the official boys' numbers tallied up yet. And when they do, I will bring them over to you. And, of course, bring you the winner of our next race. So
all right.
That's coming up.
Kate, thank you very much. Kate steps out for a moment. We continue on from here as the varsity race has gotten underway. And definitely want to get Army back over here because he hopped off for a moment when we interviewed someone. And we'll bring him back over now as the varsity girls get underway. And Armstrong Noonan from Darien rejoining us right now. And give me some thoughts on what you saw in the certainly in the boys race that just finished.
Yeah, so I was very impressed by the freshman race. I thought they had a very strong showing. I have to say, I was particularly impressed by the Darien boys. I thought that they put up a strong fight. I think my guys finished third, 5th, I want to say. We had a group of 3 people right there. It was kind of hard for me to see at the end, but I was definitely impressed. I know the winning time was 8:04, which is very fast for a freshman boy. And if I'm not mistaken, that might be a course record for freshmen, but I'm not 100% positive. But that is by all means a fast time. This was one of the fastest freshman races I've seen in a long time.
It really did seem like a fast race because I know just from standing here watching it on the monitor, we all of a sudden somebody said, oh my gosh, here they come.
Right.
I mean, that was a quick race.
Right. And it doesn't, the cameras don't even do it justice. These kids are going fast. I was talking to one of my teammates just now, and he said that he came across the mile in 5:45, and he was up in that top pack, which is very fast for a freshman, to say the least. I know a lot of freshmen who will PR in the mile at 5:40 if they're lucky. So to go out in the first mile of a cross-country race at 5:45 is definitely no small feat.
As we're 2:04 into the girls' race, I wonder if Eric Gendron can hear me, if he can put the map of the course back up, just to get your thoughts on it, because kind of an analysis of what this course is all about.
Right. So this is definitely not the hardest course by any means. There's one hill in particular that can be a little tricky, but other than that, it's relatively flat. And it leads to some fast times. I think the girls are going to have a strong showing again today. As you know, Hannah DeBalzi is one of the top returners. She is a phenomenal runner, just committed to Stanford, actually, to run next year. And she's going to do very well today. I'm not sure what kind of shape she's in now, but historically she's had a great showing at the FCIAC race, and I'm looking for her to not only finish first, but have a very fast time as well. So the course is definitely, like I said, one of the easier courses in Connecticut. But by no means is it any less difficult.
And this is some of the drone footage we shot yesterday, shot by Marty Hersom, so you get a sense of what the course is all about as it turns here. And you can kind of explain it to us, Army. What do you see?
Right, so this that you're seeing right now is the kind of last stretch, especially I think the boys' race might go back here. I'm not sure if the girls, but this is kind of the last push that you have in the 5K to really get up the hill. You're going to take a right here. And after that, that's the final stretch. You got about a little over a half mile to go to the finish. So this is where you start to kick it in. And this is where, if you're up in that top pack, you're going to start making moves and start dropping people. So this stretch right here is very important. Now you see we're coming up this slight hill. And I remember personally last year running this race and running this stretch, it's definitely one of the hardest points because it's a very slight incline. But, with that being said, you're still very tired, and that's why it's so difficult. This right here going into the opening is kind of the home stretch. Right when you pop out of these woods, it's a dead sprint up to the top, and you're going to get a sense right here that it's kind of a sloping hill. You can see right near the baseball fields at the end, that's where the finish is going to be, so coming up from the hill is going to be a dead sprint.
At one point, you spied a highway, by the way. That, for those who don't know, the Merritt Parkway runs right next to part of the course at one point, so you get a bit of a sense of what the finish area and the starting area would be like. This was all before everything got laid down here, so but it gives you an idea of exactly what this is all about.
Right, and I really enjoy the finishing area here as well. I think that it's definitely one of the most impressive places to finish a race. When you come in and have the fans cheering you on, it's spectacular. So it'll definitely carry you in, and once you get up the hill, you're going all out to just try to make it right to the finish line. So it's flat, and you'll be fast. Everyone's always sprinting. And, right now we can see, I think that's Hannah.
It's got to be.
Yeah, it has a strong lead right now, so I'm very impressed. I can't tell who that is in second right now, but it looks like Hannah's already opened up a strong lead.
All right. Pretty cool. Well, we'll see what kind of time she has.
I'd be interested to see what she goes through in the first mile.
Yeah,
It'll
exactly.
be fast.
5 minutes and 12 seconds we are into this race now, with the boys to follow and then on to the junior varsity as well.
Now, Hannah, I know, has not lost a race in state since her sophomore year. So she will definitely be defending that title as well. She's a 2-time Foot Locker All-American in cross country and countless All-American indoor and outdoor track too. So she's definitely got the accolades, and I think she's obviously going to have a strong showing again today.
Absolutely outstanding runner who we talked to last year and came down to between Stanford and Harvard, and she decided to take her talents to the West Coast.
Right. And that's got to be a big decision for her. I think she's really going to enjoy it out there, though. I know one of my teammates, Alex Osberg, who you guys know very well.
Right.
He's over there right now, and he's loving it. I think Hannah's going to be just fine over there.
Early winners today, Natalie Sapio of Danbury, who ran 10:10, and Angel Vicioso of McMahon. Unofficially, he told me 8:02, but Army said 8:04 was the time.
Roughly.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying.
You know?
We were both saying that
Yeah.
give or take until you get the official time,
Uh-huh.
you'll settle either way at that point. He
Right.
ran a very good race. They both did. She was surprised, actually,
Right.
to do as well as she did. But 6.5 into this race at this point. And certainly a reminder for you folks that we have high school football on the HAN network coming up this Saturday. It is the long anticipated, and, well, a lot of people can't wait for it to be over, the Marinelli Bowl this Saturday as John Marinelli and the Greenwich Cardinals take on Lou Marinelli, and the New Canaan Rams will have that game for you. Beginning with all of our pregame activities, FCIAC Tailgate will start your day Saturday at noon, FCIAC Game Day at 1 o'clock, and then Chris Callen and I have the play-by-play 3 o'clock from Cardinal Stadium in Greenwich. That's coming up on Saturday. As we take back another look back out on the course. This is coming from that pace car that Jay Egan and Mike Suppy are in. And for sure that has to be Hannah DeBalsi.
Oh, yeah. And she's still maintaining that strong lead. I don't see anyone behind her right now. And they should be coming up on the mile marker soon. Or they might, no, they already passed it.
7 minutes and 40 seconds in.
I tell you what, the weather is beautiful today, too. You could not ask for a better day for a cross-country race.
So, you know, that answers a question that I've had, and I've kind of talked about this throughout the week. Is this the kind of day you want to run on?
This is the perfect day for a cross-country race, and it's a slightly windy, not too bad. We usually get lucky with the FCIAC race. You know, it's mid-October. The weather hasn't completely turned cold yet, so we usually get a nice day like this one. It's in the 70s. Perfect for running, slight breeze. So you're not sweating too much, although it can get a little hot when you're running. It's really perfect.
Okay, 20 minutes, varsity boys.
And we're 20 minutes away from the start of the varsity boys race, with the girls still out there at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. All right, as this race goes on, we'll grab a quick timeout. 8 minutes and 45 seconds into the girls' race. Army, Dave, myself, we come back to New Canaan in just a moment. You're watching the 2015 FCIAC Cross Country Championship on the HAN Network.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
The fall bite is heating up. Albies, Bonita, Blackfish, Alligator Blues, and Stripers are following the large schools of bait in the Long Island Sound. This is the time to visit the New England coast, and the Dock Shop can get you outfitted with the latest fishing gear, jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece. Boater, beach bum, fishermen simply love the New England coast. This is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westbrook, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Back to New Canaan with Armstrong Noonan. I'm Rob Adams. Getting ready for the varsity side. Passing the 11-minute mark right now. And, of course, it will not be too much of a surprise, I have a feeling. The
real question is who's coming in second place?
Yeah.
And at what time?
That's exactly right.
And I expect Hannah to be coming in soon at around 2 more minutes, give or take.
By the way, we do have the official from the girls, as Kate was able to get me the race tabulation. And Natalie Sapio was the winner from Danbury, followed by Elizabeth Tedford of New Canaan, Maggie Leatherwood of Fairfield Ludlow, Emily Dowdle of New Canaan, and Elena Tiller of New Canaan. Those were the top 5. So coming up on 12 minutes, 13 sound about right?
I would expect somewhere in the 13 range for Hannah. I would. I think last year she was just around 13 minutes, but I can't remember for sure. And again, that's depending on what type of shape she is in. I assume she'll do well today. She might have done a workout earlier this week that might have, made her run a little more conservatively today. But for the most part, I think she's gearing up for a big rest of the season, and I know she's going to compete very well at the national level later in the year. And it's coming up quickly. People tend to forget that the season is over so quickly, but it blows by. It really does.
Yeah, it really does.
So I'm looking forward to Foot Lockers especially. I know Hannah is as well. I'm hoping to compete there later in the season, but we'll see how that goes. And I know that Hannah is looking for easily a top 5 finish. Last year, historically, she's been in the top 3. So I expect no different this year.
Somebody's trying to entice you with some pizza.
Yeah, and it's working. I can tell you that.
Understandably.
Yeah.
Spying some of the athletic directors who are here, by the way. I see Joe Matafari of McMahon just spoke with Gus Lundeen from Greenwich. Looks like I think I see the Wilton athletic director as well. Jay Egan is here. So.
And Hannah's finally coming in right now. Final stretch.
Here she comes.
Time is roughly 13:38 right now.
So we'll watch her as she crosses, coming up on 13:45.
She's making it look so easy right now.
She really is.
And I can tell she's holding back a little. There's no reason to go all out for her right now. Nice, easy win today for her. That's great.
13:58 as the applause builds. And she crosses the line in what looks like about 14:04.
And I can't see anyone in sight right now.
No.
Winning in dominating fashion. All right, here we go. Looks like Wilton in second place.
So Hannah DeBalzi has indeed won her 3rd straight. Making it look easy. And now second place making their way in.
We got a real battle back there, too, from what I could see. It looked like Ridgefield was up there. More Staples coming in right now as well.
And, folks, not to be forgotten, but there are individual scores and then there are team scores as well.
Team-wise, it's going to be a battle.
Yeah.
It really is. And the same teams every year are really the ones that are up in the pack right now. I see Ridgefield, Staples, Wilton. They all should have a strong showing today on the girls' side.
Why is that? Why are some teams just so good?
I think it's very odd, especially in the sports of cross country and track. Some schools just keep producing better runners for whatever reason. Some people argue it has to do with the coaching. Some people argue it's just because schools have better athletes. And I think it might be a combination of the two. You get kids that are very talented, just have a lot of natural talent, and when they get coached, well, that's when they really come together and they can put up a strong showing. So, it looks like we got another strong pack finishing right now. New Canaan's definitely in the mix. Greenwich as well.
And a good crowd, everybody enjoying this atmosphere today. Temperatures in the low 70s, just a great day.
It's beautiful. And this is what I'm talking about. You can't get much better than the fans cheering you along on the side.
Is that a rush?
It is a rush.
Yeah.
It really is. You know, and it motivates you to finish even stronger. I can tell you that.
All right, you're getting a view of some more of the runners as they come in, and Hannah DeBalzi is just about ready to join us, so whenever she wants to come over and put a headset on, we will let her jump in here. We're at 16 and a half minutes now. So runners continuing to make their way in. And the girls champion on the varsity side is going to put a headset on and join us in just a moment. And we hear her. We hear the headset.
Hello.
Hannah, how are you? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, you've done it again. What went right out there?
I mean, the game plan was just to go kind of hard the first mile so nobody would come with me, and then just kind of cruise the rest of the way in, which is what I did. So.
And that's pretty much, Army, what you said was going to happen.
That's right. Yeah, I had confidence in you, Hannah.
Thank you, Army.
So what were you feeling too? I know you said the game plan was to go out conservatively, kind of fast. And then it looks like you eased up a little. Was it an easy effort for you, or was it a moderate effort?
I wouldn't say easy.
Yeah.
It's not like an.
It looked easy for you in the end.
The goals the game plan for every season has been only race hard and it really counts. Save your hard efforts for the big meets. So.
So when's the first hard effort?
Probably. I don't know. We'll see. Either state opens New England's.
Yeah?
We'll see. Yeah.
Okay. And Stanford, that's huge. Are you excited?
Beyond excited. I couldn't fall asleep last night.
That's great. That's great.
I'm glad you brought it up. Congratulations. That's great.
Thank you.
Was it a tough decision?
It was a tough decision. It came down to 2 schools. But in the end, I fell in love with Stanford. So I couldn't picture myself anywhere except for there.
And as we talked about, somebody that's already out there, Alex Osberg.
My teammate Alex Osberg. He's going to be happy to see you there. I can guarantee you that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll be happy.
What are your thoughts about running out there?
I'm so excited. There's some of the best athletes in the country run for Stanford, and it would just it'd be an honor to be able to train with them every day. And also the weather in the winter will be a lot more bearable.
That's true.
That is true. Have you decided on a major or anything like that, or you're just right now ready to run?
Well, I know math and science. I'm a math science kid, but I don't really know specifically what I want to major in.
All right. No harm there. Once you get going out there, do you ever take a moment, kind of glance over to your shoulder? Do you allow yourself that ever?
It depends. Today I did, just because the goal today wasn't to go all out. But when it's the goal is to just don't care. When I don't care what anyone else is doing, I just want to see how hard I can run. I don't know, look straight ahead. But
You've won so many times. Is it still a thrill?
It's still a thrill. You can't take this for granted. I remember I was hurt at the beginning of last year, and just reminded me how much I like to win and to compete. So yeah.
So certainly not jaded as you come across that finish line. There's still an emotional rush that hits. Yeah. No, that's fantastic. How about the rest of your team? How you feel about them?
One of my teammates came in 3rd, so we're hoping to maybe pull up a victory, but we'll see. I think that, but I can tell by just walking by, everyone seems to be looking pretty good. So fingers crossed.
And you've got great coaching there as well, don't you?
Great coaching.
Yeah. Tell us about them.
Well, they all. Besides this, they all ran in college. They all were runners all their life. So they just, and most of them ran for Staples too. So they all know exactly what we're going through, and it's really easy to talk to them. You can tell them anything basically. So, yeah.
Is it an overwhelming feeling when people say, and I've only covered a handful of cross country, but where I'm standing, I don't know that I've ever seen a better runner. Do you hear that kind of stuff and go, wow?
I guess. I don't know. I try not to I don't know, pay attention to other people's expectations, because I like to focus on my own goals, not get pressured.
Absolutely, but you've also built this kind of legacy. Certainly there has to be some pride.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Enjoy Stanford. Congratulations, and congratulations on this today.
Thank you.
All right. Hannah DeBalzi, who won the girls' varsity championship. We'll get the official times in a little bit. We'll let Hannah step out, go grab a well-deserved drink. We continue on from Waveney Park in New Canaan with the 2015 FCIAC Cross Country Championship. We're back after this on the HAN Network.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark Building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking. To a partner that makes small businesses feel big. Where community comes first. Where high-tech tools go hand in hand with a human touch. Where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver. Where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Here at the Darien Sports Shop, we are very excited about our newly redesigned men's department. Gentlemen, if you're shopping for work, weekend, or wedding, we've got the latest styles and trends inside our spacious new department just for you. We have vast selections from Peter Millar, Vineyard Vines, Johnny O, Duckhead, Barber, and so much more. And you can even walk out of the store in the new Wolverine 1,000-mile men's boot. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut, or shop us online at dariensport.com.
And we welcome you back to New Canaan. We have, I feel compelled that I have to tell you this information, that part of the excitement today was all these Periscope cameras, and you're going to say, well, what happened? Periscope as a company has gone down for a moment. So that's why we don't have the shots for you. And, of course, it happens today. Why wouldn't it?
I'm just as shocked as you are. I really am.
So we're going to try switching over to Meerkat, which is another option. Mike Suppy is now hitting the course with my phone for Meerkat today. So away we go. All right. As the drone goes flying overhead and people all going, well, what the heck is that?
My hope is that it just doesn't crash down on the middle of the race. I don't
Never
think it will.
has.
Yep.
Never has.
We'll get some good shots.
So
now this boys race is going to be very competitive today.
I agree.
The FCIAC has always been strong when it comes to cross country, and I expect no different from today. We've got some standout individuals from each team, really, and I think there's 4 or 5 teams really in contention to take the win today as well. So in terms of teams, I know Staples, Danbury, Ridgefield are all going to be gunning for that title, and I think it could be any one of them today. And I'm really looking forward to see the battle play out. I think Staples probably has the strongest shot. They've got a couple of studs in their team. I know Ridgefield has always been strong historically as well. Ward has also had a great season. They won their division, and they beat us, actually. So I'm expecting them to have a solid day as well. And then individually, I wanted to point out a couple names. Eric Vanderels probably is the favorite to win this race from McMahon.
I agree.
He's going to have a very strong showing. I know he's going to bring his A game today, and he's been looking forward to this race for a long time now. So he's really going to gun it today, and I would expect him to be anywhere from 15:10 to 15:20 time-wise, depending on the competition, level of competition he's going to have. And
Eric Vanderels ran 5th last year in 15:43, so right. That would be pretty consistent. And you hope as another year older, another year wiser, you're able to shave time off.
Exactly. And he's also, I have to mention, during the track season, both indoor and outdoor last year, he's a 2-time All-American. He's running the 1440s for 5K on the track. And, this is a very talented kid we're dealing with, and I would expect him to do very well today. I know he's going to have a solid season in front of him, and he's looking also to compete nationally in cross-country as well. He wants to qualify for Foot Locker Nationals come November. So that's definitely on his agenda. And I think to name a couple other kids who might give him a run for his money, I know that there are 2 Wilton standouts, Aaron Breen and Justin Hosel. They're going to be up there with him again. Gilmar Barrios from Stanford is definitely another runner to watch. These guys have really been training consistently all year. They've been looking good in previous races. Let's see who I'm missing. I know there are a couple kids from Ridgefield who can make a difference. Staples has got some studs too. James Lewis, Chase Gornbean, and Ben Foster are all going to perform very well today. James Moss from where's it, St. Joe's, he's going to do well today too. And Gabe Altop from Ridgefield hasn't raced actually in a number of seasons, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can pull out of the bag today, but it's going to be a tight race, that's for sure.
So now I have to ask you, how are your emotions as you watch them start lining up? This would have been you.
I know. I have to say I'm a little sad not to see myself out there. Probably a little more than a little sad. And it is what it is. You have to take it with a grain of salt. You know, the injury has definitely been a setback, but by no means is it going to end my season, and I'm looking forward to training hard these next couple weeks to make sure that I'm prepared for the bigger meets, you know, like states and nationals going forward. But it's true, you know, my senior year, I definitely have some nostalgia today, just seeing the guys out there. I can see them, you know, my team warming up, and I'd love to be out there with them, love to lead the pack with them, but you know, and any other day when I wasn't injured, you know, it would work in my favor, but it is what it is.
What would have been your goal time for today?
I ideally wanted to be in the 15:20s. Talking about Eric as well, him and I are the best of friends. I love him as a kid. I think he is very motivated. He could not be any nicer individual, and I just love running with him too. So I would have liked to push the pace with him and see what we could do together. So that would have been my goal, anywhere in the 15:20s, but I know that he could still do it on his own.
And you think the two of you could have been neck and neck to win this?
I do.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a lot of fun. We'd been talking a lot. We actually did a couple races together this summer on the same team, which was fun. So we have a special bond, and although we're competitive with each other, it's in a good way. You know, like we're not definitely cutthroat by any means, and we're happy for each other, whoever wins the race. So it's a great relationship. It really is.
All right, getting ready to start the boys' championship. This is the varsity boys' championship. They have yet to reset the clock, but they will. That's certainly something everybody's watching. All right, that has been reset. And we are ready to go. Great deal of silence all of a sudden.
There's definitely some nerves out there, too.
Definitely. Here we go. And there they go. Looked like for a moment someone, one or two were going to get a little jumpy, but off they go. And we will see how this one turns out.
They're out in a good pace. Definitely the kids I would expect to be out there are Eric taking the lead right away. His teammate Ajax Diamandis, fantastic runner right behind him. He's in a great position, setting himself up for a great race. By no means is it the quickest pace I've ever seen, but for Eric, who's taking it out, I think he's doing the right thing and leading the pack. I have not seen anyone challenge him yet, so that's a concern. I feel like someone might want to move up and, you know, give him a little more of a challenge.
Now, why would the pace not be so great off the start?
Well, I think in terms of game plans, I think most of these runners have discussed with their coaches what they want to do to run the fastest times that they can. And knowing that Eric is going to be in this race and take it out pretty quickly, I think a lot of coaches have been smart and said, well, look, we know he's going to run fast. Let's have you hang back and make sure that you're hitting the time that you need to. And we know that the race is going out in a moderate pace. It's going to be there. The times are going to be there because this is a fast course. So you don't want to push yourself too hard in the first mile and then burn out. I've seen it happen all the time. You know, the first mile in this course is especially fast. Kids tend to go out very quickly and burn themselves out in the process. So that's what they're trying to avoid with a moderate pace.
What makes this a good course versus a bad course today?
So it's interesting because it's relatively flat in comparison to other courses in Connecticut and even New England, because we usually get some pretty killer hills. This course in particular only has one major hill, and it's not even that large to begin with. And you can see right now that they're on a relatively flat course in the background, but the start goes right into a sloping downhill, so you immediately warm up the legs and you get to stride out, and you feel good right away. So that's why I think kids are ready to go on game day, and they know they have goals in mind, and with the flat course, that's when it all comes together, and they're able to hammer sometimes.
By the way, did you lose out on the pizza? I don't want you to.
Don't worry about that. I'll get some pizza later. It's only what, 3:20?
3:20.
Yeah, that's a little early in my book, but I think later I'll get some.
2 minutes and 22 seconds in, and you can see Mike Suppy on Meerkat now. That is the way that we're able to bring you at least a shot from the course because of Periscope having crashed. So kind of a unique set of circumstances there. I can't deny watching somebody walk by in a Mets T-shirt, and this is a Yankee fan talking. They have an opportunity to finish something off later on today. So pretty exciting for the other baseball team in New York.
And it looks like Eric is still maintaining that lead, opening up a slight gap. It's nothing too crazy yet. He's still within reach, but he's definitely established himself right now. And he's in control of that pace.
So Eric Vanderels of McMahon in control right now, early on, in the boys varsity championship, 3 minutes and 17 seconds in.
And I really do expect this. I think Eric will take the win on this one. Time-wise, it'll be a little variable since he's running alone. For the most part, that's what it looks like. If he gets challenged, I really do think he could run even faster. But I would not be surprised to see him 15-20 or below today on his own. And I think it's going to be, like for the girls, a real battle for second and through fifth place. And I think that, like I said before, there are some studs who I expect to have some strong races again today in preparation for some bigger meets as well later down the road. Because I know generally coaches at this time who have some very good runners will likely tell them to race this FCIAC race hard, but not completely all out and drain yourselves in preparation for some bigger meets like states and state opens and New England's, because I know a lot of teams really focus on trying to do well at those as well.
When Kate Chaplinsky was on with us before, one thing she said to me was the great sense of camaraderie here, and I felt that last year when I was here also. There's just a lot of friendship and camaraderie. You talked about being friends with Eric Vanderels, and yet there still has to be that sense of rivalry. Is that all true?
Well, this is by far the most interesting sport I've ever taken part in. I talk about this all the time. It's definitely the biggest sport where I see the most friendship, and that's really because you're not competing for a spot, unless, of course, and this rarely happens, but when, someone wants to bump up on the top 7 and you might get mad at someone for taking your spot, but that's,
sure.
That's really, you can do nothing about that. But, going back to my main point about the friendship aspect, it really is a sport where you, despite what people think, where it's an individual sport, you really need to work together to make sure that your team's pulling through at the end of the day. And the only way you're going to get better is through, competing with each other. That's for sure. In the case of Eric, he doesn't seem to be challenged right now. But, I think just training with a partner every day is going to make you not only a better runner, but a better teammate. And despite what people say, I think this is one of the biggest team sports that exists. I really do. And
with all that said, I mean, you're a Darien guy. Mm-hmm. You're standing here in the evil land of New Canaan. What about the relationship with the New Canaan runners?
We by no means have a bad relationship with New Canaan. I really respect their program. I think they've struggled a little team-wise in the past, but they had a fantastic team last year. I hope to see them improve a little bit this year. And I really do. I have a ton of respect for them. I think their coaching staff is phenomenal. I think they're going to do big things in the future. And last year especially, they had some studs on their team who are running collegially right now too and are doing great. So I wouldn't be surprised if they could find some people to compete on a high level this year as well. But we're like I said before, we're all friends. I've never seen anyone get too competitive to the point where they're mean to each other. That just really doesn't happen in this sport. And I think the thing about running is that it really draws a certain type of individual to the sport. It's not that the individual picks the sport, but I like to say that running picks them. It takes the type of person who's driven not only athletically but also academically as well. And that's why you just get super nice kids coming out here.
All that being said and done, come Turkey Bowl time, you're a Darien guy.
That's right. That's right. Didn't want to say it, but if you brought me to it, I'll be cheering hardcore for Darien. Don't worry.
No, that's
Yeah, and I'm excited for that game too. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
That will be a lot of fun, and as of right now, we just don't know. Will it be the FCIAC championship? Starting to look like it, but Staples certainly has a say in that conversation as well for football, for sure.
Right.
We'll take a timeout here. We are at 7 minutes and 12 seconds into the boys' race. On the varsity side, Eric Vanderel seems to be in control, but we'll find out if he goes on and wins this championship. Armstrong and I will come back to New Canaan right after this on the HAN Network.
Here at the Darien Sports Shop, we are very excited about our newly redesigned men's department. Gentlemen, if you're shopping for work, weekend, or wedding, we've got the latest styles and trends inside our spacious new department just for you. We have vast selections from Peter Millar, Vineyard Vines, Johnny O, Duckhead, Barber, and so much more. And you can even walk out of the store in the new Wolverine 1,000-mile men's boot. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Welcome back to Waveney Park in New Canaan. And so many people have said, as we went around the FCIAC and we interviewed so many people, including Armstrong, is this their favorite course? And so many said yes. You as well?
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. I think this is one of the top courses I've ever raced at. And it's sad that I'm missing it this year, too, because I really enjoy this course. I think it's going to yield some very fast times. I've only raced it twice in my life, sophomore year and last year as well. Like I said earlier, I ended up doing soccer my freshman year, so I didn't get the opportunity to race cross-country. But I really do enjoy this course a lot. I would say my top two courses are here and Van Cortlandt Park in New York. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Sure.
But that's where they hold the regional meet to qualify for nationals, and I like that a lot. It's a difficult course in comparison to this one. But, I have a lot of memories on this course. I actually live 2 minutes away from Waveney Park, so I run here all the time on my own. I would say the majority of my distance runs on the weekends are here. So I have a lot of respect for this place in general, and I really do enjoy my time here.
Again, we mentioned the Turkey Bowl a few moments ago, and we'll have New Canaan on Saturday as they take on Greenwich in the now infamous Marinelli Bowl that certainly John Marinelli is very anxious to get it over with. Just in reading between the lines, he is not exactly wanting to talk to the media this week. We did record an interview with his father, Lou Marinelli, earlier in the week, so we will have that for you on Saturday, FCIAC tailgate at noon, and we'll show the Marinelli interview during FCIAC game day, which comes your way between 1 and 2 o'clock on Saturday from Cardinal Stadium in New Canaan. Chris Kalin and I with play-by-play action at 3 that day. And we'll see if the Cardinals can stay with the New Canaan Rams. The Rams have been scoring at will, as have the Darien Blue Wave. Notice I'm pointing to this guy to my right.
That's right.
Who do you know on the football team? You know those guys?
I do. They're great guys, and I'm not just saying that. I really enjoy them. I know Timmy Graham's a fantastic quarterback. He's a fantastic person, too. Hudson Hamill, the Triffones, obviously. I think that they're a solid team. And really what I see, too, is that they have the camaraderie as well. I know I talk a lot about running and how that's, more of a friendship-type sport. But I really see the same thing with our football team, just seeing them practice and seeing them have a ton of fun. I think that's important. When you want to work, you got to get in that mindset, right? Like, you got to be ready to practice and you got to be ready to win, but then they're the best of friends too, like we are on our team. So I love to see that, and I think that's why we're so successful.
And the bond that they had with their 12th man, Jim Mulhern, who passed away from ALS before the season started. They've dedicated their season to him and had a ceremony for him at homecoming, so I know that he definitely looms large over that football team, and talking with Coach Trifone and the captains as well. And you're right, I've talked to some of the captains. I've interviewed them formally here on the, via the FCIAC tour that we did. But at the same time, I talked to them before the camera started rolling, especially Timmy Graham, and just a nice guy.
Right,
good
and
guys.
They have high goals for themselves too, high expectations, and that's what I love to see. I respect people who have goals in mind and set out to get them. So I think running is the same way. I know Eric is like that as well, who's in the lead, and he seems to be doing quite well. I want to get a time check. 11:38 right now. He should be rolling in soon in about 3-ish minutes, give or take. And it looks like right now he's in the back part of the woods. This is probably going to be a pretty fast time. It looks like right now he's going up the steeper portion of the backwoods trail. So this is the part where you really got to hunker down and make sure you're speeding up, because you got to fight through that pain. You always hit in the 5K. You hit a point, I want to say roughly after 2 miles, where it's make or break time, and that's when you got to make the decision to speed up a little bit and really start to go and start to hammer the race, or you got to settle back in, and that's when people start to catch you. So this is a turning point in the race. I expect a lot of people in the second and third to fifth place positions to be moving up as well, and that's really going to be another battle. But I expect Eric to carry it away with this one.
Looks like 12 and a half minutes. There's someone standing right in my line of sight of the clock, but about 12 and a half minutes now.
Right.
12:40 to be exact. There we go. All right, so they should be pretty close. And, again, there's still junior varsity to go as we get an overhead shot from the drone. You're able to get a sense for really what kind of a day it is here. And that's the thing that jumped out at me last year. Everybody shows up with their tent, not unlike what we're standing underneath, but most of the teams bring a tent with them. And, again, that camaraderie, that feeling of brotherhood, sisterhood, teammates, it's kind of a fun day at the same time for you guys.
It is, and I think a lot of people get worked up with the competition too, and that's what I've learned in the past. You want to try to avoid the feeling that you get, the nerves. While it can be good sometimes to make you, cautious about, not just sprawling out and saying, this race doesn't matter at all. It'll make you focus, but you want to keep it on the down low, and you want to remember that it's fun, right? More than anything, this competition is fun, and it should be. So I think a lot of people, keep that in mind when they're getting ready as well. And I'm no different. I like to have some fun with my team as well.
Folks are walking around with some dogs as well. I'm spying a really friendly face sitting just a few feet away from us. I don't think we have a camera to catch that face, but boy, that's a beautiful face right there.
And Eric is coming up right now in this final portion. I want to say the time is just over 14 minutes. This is going to be a very fast time, I can tell you that.
14:10 and counting.
I would say he would probably be just over 15 minutes right now. This is a phenomenal run. And people really don't realize how deep the FCIAC is. It is one of the most competitive conferences in the country when in terms of cross-country and track. So, even the top 30 runners stay in this race are very special and gifted runners. And that's what a lot of people forget when they're so far back. They're like, well, they're not in the top of the pack, but in reality, they're very good athletes.
Now, if Mike Suppy could just drop my phone, get it busted, I could get a new phone out of the deal. I mean, I got to be enterprising about this as well.
So it looks like Eric's coming up, and I want to see the time. Still under 15 minutes, which is phenomenal. He might. Okay, 15. So he's under 15:20 right now, which is going to be a great race for him. He's really hammering this one. You probably have a better view than I do right now.
Almost. We're at 15:10.
15:10.
And Eric Vanderels is going to be your 2015 FCIAC Boys Cross Country Champion, running at a good, steady pace. He crosses at what looks to be 15:24, I'm going to say.
That's phenomenal. There's only been 2 people in the past who've ever broken 15:20 on this course. Alex Osberg and Trevor Hopper from Darien and Ridgefield, respectively. And it looks like Ridgefield's Gabe Altop had a strong showing, too, and I'm happy for that. He's been injured recently, coming back from that strong. James Moss, Ward coming in. That's huge for them as well. Fast times. Justin Hosel from Wilton. Great race for him. I saw Gilmar Barrios from Stanford coming in. Danbury, Ridgefield. Again, this is going to be a solid pack of teams right here, too, and it's going to be tough to tell who's the clear-cut winner. Gilmar Barrios from Stanford coming in. Danbury again. Just over 16 minutes. These are fast times.
Yeah. And a lot of buzz for the end of this race.
Right, and it comes down to the wire. And that's what a lot of coaches will tell you at the beginning. If you're racing with someone at the end, you're going to have to out-sprint him.
Yep.
And it really comes down to even a lean at the last second. Danbury putting up a lot of runners. 2 right there.
This is some of the best noise we've heard all day.
Right, and people get very excited for this varsity boys race. Like I said, it is one of the most competitive. Darien, I like to see that. Putting up a strong finish. From what it looks like to me, I've seen a lot of Danbury, and correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I agree with you.
I would feel pretty confident to say that they're looking good right now team-wise. I've seen a lot of Staples as well, and it's hard for me to judge what positions and what places they're coming in. Darien again. There's more Danbury.
So they continue to make their way in.
And the times are still quick. Well, we've had a lot of people under 17, which is fantastic.
In the meanwhile, back near the start line, the girls' JV are beginning to gather. And then the boys' JV will wrap up the day. Runners continue to come in. We're at 17:50. And I would imagine we'll have Eric Vanderels over here with us in a few minutes. So we'll take a timeout as we set up for interviews and the next race and continue on from here at Waveney Park in New Canaan. 4 races in the books, still 2 to go. Army and I pause. We come back to New Canaan after this on the HAN Network.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking. To a partner that makes small businesses feel big. Where community comes first. Where high-tech tools go hand in hand with a human touch. Where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver. Where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
Welcome back to New Canaan, the 2015 FCIAC Cross Country Championships on the HAN Network. And we're going to get a look momentarily at the results in the girls' race from the varsity. And we will be getting more from the boys momentarily. As the junior varsity race for the girls is about to get underway in a couple of minutes, and that will be followed by the boys' junior varsity race, and that wraps it up. It's funny how, the season you said goes by so quickly. Right. This day, once it gets going, goes by in a flash.
I know, it really does. We started relatively early. I know a lot of meets start, a little after 4 o'clock on the weekends, a little earlier, but it really does blow by, and I think we're wrapping up, by 6 o'clock, which is relatively early for cross country. During the week, you end at like 7 o'clock, so that's also very tough for some student athletes to get some homework done after, but, today's looking good.
And it is looking good, and it continues to be this beautiful day here. There are the winners of the girls' varsity race. So Hannah DeBalzi came in first, followed by Mary Lynch of Wilton, Susanna Martin of Staples, Casey McGarrald of Ridgefield, and Ava Kelly of Ridgefield. And you said it, Ridgefield had a good showing.
Mm-hmm. So did Staples, too. Staples, Hannah obviously the winner, and I think her teammate I just saw was in 3rd place. So that's looking good as well. But Ridgefield runners for the girls' side placed 4th and 5th. That's also looking very good.
And we're just waiting on the boys' results in the meantime.
Hopefully we can snag Eric for an interview, too.
I think we will.
Yeah.
Should be able to get him over here in a few minutes.
Right.
Glance back over toward the start line for junior varsity. They're getting ready to go. Couple of final warm-up runs, and they'll be off and running. In the meantime, and they've just announced 9 minutes, so 3:50 start time And some more of the boys continuing to make their way into the finish line. We're at 21 minutes and 45 seconds. And hopefully health has been good out there today, too.
Right, all right. I would hope to hear of no injuries today. And it's not too hot, so people shouldn't be, overly dehydrated, although I have seen that in the past, and that's never good.
What are bad running conditions?
I would say a scorchingly hot day would be not ideal in my opinion. Although I know some people who really don't like to race in the cold.
Mhm.
So I think it really depends on the person. But I would say for the most part, a hot day, with no wind is not a fun time. So today, like I've said earlier, it's really is perfect, and that's why we were able to see such fast times. I think to talk a little bit more about Eric's, unofficial 15:24, I think that's a very fast time. And like I said earlier as well, only 2 kids have broken 15:20 on this course, so he's right there. And I thought he would.
Do you think you could have stayed with him today?
Like I said, again, my goal was to be in the 15:20s, so
Yeah.
I do think if I was in shape, I would be right there, and I'd love that. That would have been a fast time for the both of us. But, of course, I'm totally proud for Eric. It looks like he's coming in right now too, but to join us. But he had a fantastic day, and I think he deserves all of that. I'd be interested to know how hard he really was going, although he looks like he was giving it a really good effort.
Well, he'll be here in a couple of minutes, so we'll stay here for now. But next race in about 7.5 minutes, give or take, at this point, and then the boys race, the final race of the day. So getting a lot closer here on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures remain, I was reading mostly cloudy, and it never got cloudy
right.
today.
I know.
At 23:40. We'll let Eric get a drink of water first before we bring him over.
It looks like the varsity boys race is finally coming to a close. Some guys just trickling in now.
Indeed, you spy somebody taking a picture. So a couple of more runners making their way in. All right, at 24:09. Let Eric get that drink of water, and then we'll get him in here. In the meantime, they are lined up and still a few minutes away for the start of the junior varsity race.
It's okay if you're sweaty. Trust me, everyone's been sweaty all day.
We'll bring in the boys varsity champion from McMahon, Eric Vanderels. Eric, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, take us through it.
So I just went out really hard. I knew I had to go out hard and take the lead from the beginning. I wanted to set my pace, run a fast time today, and I know my guy Army right here, battling some injuries. He wasn't there to help push along the pace, but I was definitely pushed by Gabe out top from Ridgefield, giving me something to worry about on my back shoulder, and he definitely pushed me through that race. So. And
as you run, are you able to kind of glance over your shoulder? I mean, how do you? I'm a klutz. I would fall over. So how do you do that?
Well, usually when we take sharp turns, I kind of glance over. It's kind of hard to run straight and look back behind you get a good glance of the guys behind me. So I just wait for the next coming turn and go from there.
All right, I'm not going to hesitate. You jump in. I know you're friends, but go ahead and interview them.
So I wanted to know, what was it like right from the get-go? You said you wanted to go out fast, but what was your strategy after that? Settle in or keep pushing the pace?
Definitely. Well, I talked to him, my coach, and he just said, catch that cart, go for it, stick with the fast pace, and try to run a fast time today. Because this is one of the flattest course we're going to get. Because that's right at Wickham, and that's tough.
So how's your team looking too? How'd they finish?
Well, we put 5 guys on the line. My teammate Ajax finished, I believe, 22nd, maybe 23rd.
Okay.
Not sure.
Was he happy with that?
I don't know. He definitely wanted the top 15, but
right.
I don't know. A bad race today. I mean, it's all right. We'll get it back at the classmate qualify for New England.
So what are the next goals going forward? What are your next big meets that you're focusing on?
Definitely state open meet.
Right.
That's definitely the big one. And Foot Locker.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to join you on those couple.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward
too.
to you being right next to me. So
we were talking earlier too, and I said I would have loved to be right up there with you. Are you happy with the 15:24 roughly today?
Yeah. No, I'm happy with it.
Was that your goal?
I wanted to go maybe a little bit faster.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
15:24 is a good effort. So.
There were only 2 people. It's been Alex and Trevor Hopper Alex Osberg from Darien and Trevor Hopper from Ridgefield who have broken 15:20 on this course. So you were almost there. You know?
Almost
how
there.
How does it feel to be compared to guys like that?
I mean, everyone in the country knows who they are.
Yeah.
One of them being your teammate, which is pretty cool.
Right.
So, we're all, good guys. We're all friends with each other. And, it's kind of good, friendly competition we all have together. So.
Yeah. And you feel like you've been getting recognized more as the wins keep trickling in?
Oh, we definitely all are. I mean,
yeah.
It's a great sport. We
right.
all, have a great friendly camaraderie, and it's good. So,
Eric, did you get a sense as you're out there? Can you say to yourself, "Oh, I'm on a good pace right now"? You don't have a clock, so do you have a sense?
Yeah, we definitely work on that in practice, doing not tempo runs, but kind of simulate a race. We'll go fast for a mile off. 5 minutes back on. So we get a really good feel. I sometimes do it without a watch and just kind of feel for it. So when we're in the race, we have a good feeling for it.
Now, I know Hannah DeBalzi has decided she's going to go to Stanford. Have you made up your mind what's next for you?
I haven't yet. Definitely want. I'm still checking out University of Virginia, Georgetown, and University of Connecticut. So definitely those are my top schools, and see how that goes.
Let's watch them get this next race going. In the meantime, have you made up your mind where you're going to go?
I have, actually. I'm going to Yale University next year.
Very good.
Yep, made the decision 2 days ago, so I could not be any happier with the decision.
Now, I'm not going to put you on the spot, so you don't have to answer, but have you, in your mind, is there a school that's sitting a little higher up?
It's tough to say. I mean, they all have their pros and cons. I haven't really made that top school priority yet, but
and I wouldn't have you name it. So if you had one, I'd just say yes, and I'd be okay.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
All right, very, very good. Proud, feeling good. How do you assess it when you walk away from here? Are you going to say to yourself, "I'm really happy"? I mean, you're the champion, of course, but as you said, you hoped for a little bit better time. So how do you kind of assess it as time starts to go away?
No, I'm definitely proud of my performance today. This is one of my favorite meets. I love this course. I love training on this course. Army sometimes join me for these because we live a couple miles away. So this meet really means a lot. I'm happy with the performance today, and definitely going to use this motivation, the time to push me forward to next meet and finish strong. So.
Eric, congratulations. Great job, and enjoy this.
Thank you.
And it's pretty cool to share it with a good friend.
Exactly. Definitely.
All right. We'll let Eric step out as we glance back over at the Girls JV Championship that's about to get underway.
Thanks so much, Eric. Congratulations again.
Just about ready to go. Now the silence.
On your mark.
Fortunately, that did not hit Joe Forlano, running some of the controls on the graphic side for us. But it did hit A.J. Simonowski, and, well, he recoiled as that bullet went about 88 miles per hour. And it's taken me an hour and 45 minutes, give or take, to do a Back to the Future reference, so be proud of me. For shame, exactly. All right. This race now off and running.
Yeah, it looks like they're off to a fast start again. I know I've been saying it all day, but the nerves are definitely high, especially with another JV race. These girls especially are going to be up at the top level, hopefully soon. So this is an exciting one.
As it continues on, we are just underway on the second to last race of the day. We have learned that Natalie Sapia of Danbury won the girls' freshman title. Angel Vicioso of McMahon won the boys' freshman title. And then Hannah DeBalzi and Eric Vanderels are the girls' and boys' varsity champions. And we'll pause for, actually we'll stay here for just a moment as we get the graphics up. You can take a look for yourself at Natalie and Angel. Now we can pause for a break. I didn't want to cut that too quickly. Out for a break, back to New Canaan in a moment. The junior varsity races are underway. We continue on with the 2015 FCIAC Cross Country Championship at Waveney Park in New Canaan. We're back after this on the HAN Network.
Do you do a lot of running around but get nowhere when you're buying a car? Visit Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for the one-stop buying experience and stop spinning your wheels.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Have no fear. HAN Network's Fast Frights movie contest is here. Can your film make the cut? Submit your 3-minute scary movie today for a chance to win a DJI Phantom 3 drone, sponsored by Milford Photo. The only thing to fear is missing the deadline.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2, and more are in stock and ready to go at the dock shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundon's and Stormer. The dock shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The dock shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
In Pound Ridge since 1993, the Wine Connection is one of America's best wine shops. Visit our beautiful store for the greatest in wine and knowledgeable service. With wonderful values from around the world to collectibles for your cellar, we are your one-stop source. Visit our online shop at wineconn.com and make sure to sign up for email updates. With great offers, new arrivals, and special events, don't miss all the action at The Wine Connection, including tastings every weekend. The Wine Connection, located at 32 Westchester Avenue, Pound Ridge, New York. In Pound Ridge since 1993.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
Highcote Rockefeller Estate is Westchester County's top cultural attraction and is now open for the season. Don't miss out. Go online to hudsonvalley.org to plan your visit. Take a drive out to beautiful Sleepy Hollow, New York, and enjoy Highcote's stunning architecture, breathtaking gardens, expansive art galleries, and commanding Hudson River views. From world-class art by Picasso and Warhol to expertly tended gardens, there's something for everyone. Highcote Rockefeller Estate, a National Trust for Historic Preservation Landmark.
And we welcome you back to New Canaan. Well, away we go with the girls' race. We have some new winners coming up here in a moment as the final results get posted, and they have been brought over to us. So we're going to get them on the screen here in a moment. But in the meantime, you can head back out to the course, courtesy now of Meerkat. Mike Suppy on the pace car. And you get a sense of where they are at this point. Where are they at this point?
They are, I think they're a little past the mile marker right now. So I can't really determine who's in the lead right now unless you can.
No.
Right, but I can tell you for sure that they're a little past the mile marker. Should be coming in soon because this is a shorter race. And I definitely expect this one to be probably one of the closest we've seen all day. You know, you actually get with the larger races, the more competitive races like the boys varsity, girls varsity races, you really get those two individuals, especially Hannah and Eric, who really set themselves apart, and that's where they're able to just kind of control the whole show. You know, they're the ones who can go out and set the pace. But here, I think people are more reluctant to lead the pack in many instances, so they tend to, pack up together, stick together, and push each other from there. So I would expect to see, some of that today.
9 minutes and 35 seconds into the girls' junior varsity race. As we head a little further back among the trees.
These backwoods. This is a crucial part of the race. I've said it all day, and I'll keep saying it.
What exactly makes it so, crucial, those backwoods?
Yeah, it's really, the ending it's not in sight, so that's what makes it tough. But mentally that you only have so much to go. For the 5K, you only have a little over half a mile. I think it's the same with this race actually as well. So here we'll take a look at the winner, Eric Vanderels in the top 5.
Gabe Alltop of Ridgefield coming in second. William Brisman of Fairfield Ward was third. Justin Hosel of Wilton fourth. And Zakir Ahmed of Staples came in number 5. So congratulations to them.
That's a solid pack right there. And that's really what I expected too. But you see teams from all over the board, right? There's not really a team that stands out in my mind right now. So that's why it's going to be really difficult to tell the team winner today unless they already have the results in. And I'd be interested to know who won. But like I said before, you got a couple individuals from each team that really stand out, and we see that all along this board today too. Ward, strong showing today. I'm very impressed by Ward. I think that they actually we were expecting to have a very good meet with them early in the season. They ended up blowing us out. We really weren't even competition for them. So that was great to see. I think they did very well today, and I'm happy with their finishes as well. Eric obviously crushing the course. I think another individual who had a great race was Justin Hosel. That's a huge race for him. 4th place. I know he's been training hard all season to get to where he's at right now. So I'm happy to see him do so well again. I can't remember the time, but it's definitely fast, and he's been improving a lot.
11 minutes and 39 seconds into this girls' junior varsity race with the boys still to come. They are slowly starting to make their way over, some of them, toward the start line, but still a ways to go before we get that one started, and that'll be the final race of the day. Imagine we're going to see somebody in a couple of minutes. Is that fair to say?
It's definitely fair to say. I would expect the same thing, especially coming out of those backwoods. They're going to be flying again.
12 minutes and 6 seconds. Some of the great media folks walking around here today. I spy Mary Albel was just interviewing, I believe she was interviewing Eric Vanderels a moment ago. Scott Erickson, of course, is here, and some guy named Paul Silverfarb. I'm vaguely familiar with that guy. Somewhat know him. As we come up on the 12.5-minute mark. And we hit 12.5 minutes and getting ready to see as they're still in the woods.
And this looks like the hilly part right now. So they'll be making their way up.
Of course, no surprise, Hannah DeBalzi won her 3rd straight varsity championship earlier.
Right. And she really is a phenomenal runner. I can't stress that enough. She's a lot of natural talent. I know she works very hard. I've never seen anyone train as hard as she does, but she's got a lot of natural talent, and that's important in this sport as well. And I really think it's that balance.
13:16 now on the clock. As you're watching the footage from the race course. And coming up on the 14-minute mark. Now we hit 14 and starting to come back out of the woods. Again, earlier today, Sapio, Vicioso, DeBalzi, and Vanderels, the early champions. We have 2 more to name.
And it looks like we have a tight pack of 2 or 3 runners right there. Looks like 2 to me.
So are you able to focus on that other runner? Is that where your mind goes to at this point?
Oh, definitely. I think when you're in a situation like that, especially during cross country, more so than track, when you pull away from the rest of the pack and you have another person right on your heels, that's going to be an incentive, especially if there's someone in front of you. I think it's always more of an advantage to have a runner in front of you. Like right now, the girl in front seems to be pulling away, but if the other runner just behind her was right on her heels, she has somewhat more of an advantage because she can really go off of her pace and she doesn't have to do as much work, and she can work off of what the pace that she's setting. And that's also a huge strategy that I see a lot of people employ out here as well. You sit on someone's side or you sit on their hip and then you outkick them at the line, and you see that a lot too, more so in track, but it's fairly common across country. A lot of strategy involved.
Now at the 15.5-minute mark. For a JV race, what do you think of this? Is it a good course, good pace?
Yeah, this is a good solid pace for a JV race right here. Looks like Ridgefield out in front, or I can't tell. I think that's Ridgefield.
Does look like it.
Yeah, so that's definitely solid. And like I said, I think these girls are definitely going to improve with time, and they're gonna be some top contributors next year and get their times down even lower when they come back to this course. So this is definitely good to see. These are fast times for sure. To put it in perspective, Hannah DeBalzi racing 14 minutes.
Yeah.
If these girls are coming in 2 minutes after, that's not too bad. 2 or 3 minutes after, give or take.
In the end, it doesn't look like it's going to be much of a race to the finish line.
Right. We've had some clear-cut winners today. No close races.
No. This is definitely a Ridgefield Tiger that is going to take
right.
the title. And
looks like Wilton right behind her. Pack of 2 Wilton runners. Strong finish, though.
crossing in 16:46 unofficially.
And that is a solid time. It looks like another Ridgefield runner finishing in second. Staples and Ward. We have Darien. 3 Darien runners coming in. And now they're getting all bunched up at the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely tell, though, people are draining themselves in this race. It's pretty taxing. They seem to have given it their all.
And across the line, some more runners come as we get just about to 18 minutes. Somebody's cheering for Victoria. Don't know who that is, but and we fly right by the 18-minute mark. In the meantime, some of the boys for the junior varsity are starting to warm up. Some of them standing already on the start line. Not everybody's set to go. Still a little ways before they get that one going. And some more runners making their way in. So the girls' race all but over. We have named the champion. We just have to find out exactly who that champion is. We know she is from Ridgefield. So we will pause for another break and continue on. The boys still to run in junior varsity before we say goodbye for the 2015 FCIAC Cross Country Championship. Armstrong and I are back to New Canaan after this on the HAN Network.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking. To a partner that makes small businesses feel big. Where community comes first. Where high-tech tools go hand in hand with a human touch. Where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver. Where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
In Pound Ridge since 1993, the Wine Connection is one of America's best wine shops. Visit our beautiful store for the greatest in wine and knowledgeable service. With wonderful values from around the world to collectibles for your cellar, we are your one-stop source. Visit our online shop at wineconn.com and make sure to sign up for email updates. With great offers, new arrivals, and special events, don't miss all the action at The Wine Connection, including tastings every weekend. The Wine Connection, located at 32 Westchester Avenue, Pound Ridge, New York.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Tired of all the bull? Relax and enjoy the experience of buying a car at Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram. No bull allowed.
And we welcome you back here in New Canaan. A little chaotic as Dave jumps back on. Army will join us again in a moment. And what do you think? What have you thought, Dave?
It's obviously a great race, and Hannah came through like everybody thought she would, and Eric had a great race today, and just looked like 2 real champions. Covered the course well.
Not surprised, of course, on Hannah DeBalsey. How about Eric Vanderels?
Eric's been running strong all year long, and I think it was really between him and Gabe, and that's the order they finished. It was going to be one of the two of them, and Eric. From what I saw, I was out on the course, like down at the bottom of the hill, that Eric was pretty much in front, pulled in front, right in front of Waveney House.
Yeah,
and kind of led the rest of the way.
And just as Army was saying, it seemed like a good pace today.
Yeah, definitely. I think the weather today plays into that too. It's not too hot. It's not too chilly. It's probably easy to get. I would think easy to get loosened up and easy to into stride.
Right.
Still the boys JV championship to go, and for us, it's a glance at what the future is.
That's correct. I think these guys have a lot of potential as well. See a lot of headbands out there. That's interesting. That's a good look.
That's the look for the year, I guess,
yeah,
right? That's the style.
All right.
Watching the boys race too, it was just interesting. The way Eric was able. We were talking about this. Eric was able to pretty much lead throughout.
Yeah. And that was really his strategy. I was talking to him a little bit earlier, and we actually got the chance to talk to him as well. And he said from the get-go he just wanted to get out hard and make sure that people, if they wanted to challenge him, would know from an early start that he was the real deal, that he meant business, and he could kind of pull himself away. So then he really did establish himself, and then from there it was probably a piece of cake for him.
Yeah, I saw you talking to him before too.
Yeah.
It seems like to me track and swimming and sports like that, everybody seems to pull for each other. It seems like it's a big family. Is that the way that the approach is?
That is definitely the case, and I think it comes with a lot of these endurance sports as well, like you mentioned swimming. I think you get a little tighter-knit community, especially because everyone understands the pain you're going through. I mean, running is definitely a painful sport. You can't get around it. Every day in training, you're going to have some easy days, but when you come to hammer it, you're gonna put the work in. So it's good to have someone who really supports you as well. And I have yet to meet a mean runner. I really have. I think this sport just breeds the nicest people and the most motivated people I've ever met.
That's true. I just noticed the camaraderie's out there. People are pulling for each other, whether they're teammates or whether they're on another team, whatever. They're all happy with the accomplishments of each other.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the type of environment I want to be in, and that's why I love the sport so much. I think it comes down to the people.
The JV race still rolling on at 24:10. So runners still coming across for the girls, and the boys getting ready to go. I'm still amazed that Periscope crashed.
Yeah, that's bad. Very bad timing today.
Although Meerkat to the rescue, and Mike Suppy to the rescue for sure.
The interesting thing about cross country too is, compared to the other sports during the fall, it's over so quick.
Right.
The championship is here. We still have another couple of weeks with, say, soccer and field hockey and things like that. And then the season, when the state open New England's is over, you got a little bit of a gap there till the indoor track season starts. What do you do to stay focused?
So at the end of every season, and this differs, for different people, and depending on their coaching staff and what they want to do. They might do something different, but what I generally do is take a week to 2 off, just completely off from running.
Kind of clear the head.
You clear the head, make sure that your body is in optimal shape that for when you come back for indoor and outdoor track, and it really is necessary. If you go from one season to the next, you're bound to get injured. And the difference between running and swimming especially is that with swimming you can keep training and training and training. And because you're in the water, you're not going to get injured as easily as if you keep running and running, you're bound to get injured, and that's just a simple fact, So the thing about running is that it has its limit to the amount you can train per week. Supplemental stuff, of course, is a different story, but for swimming, you can keep going.
And people go into the pool to get, to heal. And,
exactly. So it definitely is necessary to take some time off, depending on how much you take. That's up to you, but I always take a week to 2 off, and I do think that's important. And then you ease back into this, the season that you're in, season per season, and you take it easy, the first couple weeks, and then you start hammering it again. And it really is just kind of a big loop-de-loop of training and taking rest, and that's the way it should be. You can't hammer every day.
Yeah.
And I've had my teammate, especially in the past, Alex Osberg, he talks a lot about that too, because he struggled with the same things. He used to take and he gave me a ton of advice, and one of the best pieces of advice he gave me was that You can't take your hard days every single day of the year, right? Like, you just can't do it. And I think that's something he struggled with, especially. He actually got injured a lot, and he thought it was because he tended to take, his easy days a little too hard.
Okay.
So my main point would be just have some easy days in there too, and I think that's something important that a lot of people forget.
How much have you talked to him recently with him being at Stanford?
I try to keep up with him a lot. I actually video chatted with him last night, and
Okay.
a couple of my other teammates on the DMR. Our DMR crew was a real tight-knit crew. We were the best of friends, and we still keep up too. I try to video chat with them at least once or twice a week. So that's been great, and I know all my friends in college right now are loving it, who are on the team. Alex, of course, is having a phenomenal time. He's been running great. I think he loves the team over there. The team atmosphere is exactly what he was looking for, and I'm looking for him to do some big things in college. I really am.
They do have an FCIAC connection kind of going out at Stanford now.
They do, yeah. So Hannah, as you know, is heading over there next year, and I'm excited for her as well. I think she's going to do some great things, and I think the FCIAC is definitely presented well at Stanford.
It's a great conference for running.
Right.
That's a heck of a shot we've got called up right now. Looks like members of Danbury.
Now, I heard it mentioned before, this is one of the bigger races in terms of sheer numbers of people because they're
Right.
not the lineup's not limited like it is in the varsity races.
Right. So it definitely looks like there's a great deal of kids on this line right now. And Danbury with a unique cheer. I
That
respect
was
that.
interesting.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Intimidation factor.
And they are basically, to my eye, the last of the line. We are 2 minutes away from the final race of the day. Any feeling for this race, guys?
I think that these guys are ready to prove themselves again. A lot of them are probably right at the brink of leveling up to that varsity status. So I think we're going to have some good runners in this race again. I expect them to go out very hard. I think JV races especially, you get kids who really are itching to lead that pack. So I'd expect no different today.
You make an impression, you're in the varsity race next year.
Right,
That's
exactly.
it.
And like I said too, I think a lot of these kids could have raced varsity, and because of the way their teams worked this year, probably weren't able to make their top 7 or however many that the coach wanted to have in the varsity loop. So I think that's the reason why they got bumped down, and they're probably looking to have a fast race today to really prove themselves.
Everyone lined up and pretty much ready to go.
This definitely is a great event to start the whole the postseason, and especially for HAN Network too. It's just the scene here is great.
Right.
When do the nerves kick in? We've talked about the nerves, but when do they kick in? Is it 1 minute?
I personally believe, in my experiences, I get nervous or tend to get nervous probably an hour or two before the big race.
Really?
Yeah, and it kind of settles in and stays with me up until the line, but then right as the gun goes off, all of that just shatters.
Yeah.
It goes right away, and you just really start focusing on the race. And when the adrenaline starts pumping, you don't even feel a thing until the race is over. And then it is really the biggest rush of relief you'll ever have in your life. You still have that adrenaline pump through your system, and you're relieved to be over, and it's a great feeling.
And off we go with the final race of the day. The boys junior varsity.
And they are definitely out quick. A couple of them.
You can hear the starter saying, biggest race of the day.
New Canaan out quickly. Strong lead, and that is a lot of kids in the back.
We still have yet to find out who won the girls junior varsity. We know it was from Ridgefield. We just have not gotten the name yet.
Ridgefield has a very deep team with the girls, and they had a big pack of runners come through after the top 3.
Right.
Don't forget the awards are given at the pool. The pool area is
So we are a little over a minute into the final race.
over there.
And this is the boys junior varsity.
And they're bunched up as a pack right now, too. I don't see a clear individual out in front right now, which makes for an interesting race.
Dave, I kind of put Hannah DeBalzi on the spot before, only because I don't have the experience covering cross country that you do. Where does she stand? Now, I didn't ask her this way, but I'm going to ask you this way. Where does she stand from, kind of a legacy? She's built a legacy for sure. Where does she kind of, if you can rank, where does she stand?
She's got to be right at the top. I mean, if she's not number one, it's hard to say who would be. She's three-time FCIAC champion. Set the course record. I believe it's a sophomore. And she's had and her times have been phenomenal. She won today by 40 seconds. She won last year by just over a minute. And she made an impact as a freshman as well. So, I mean, for somebody there have been great performances on a given year or a given 2 years. Claire Howlett comes to mind. She was great. But in terms of just what you've done, the body of work over 4 years, I mean, I can't think of somebody who would really compare to that.
I mean, girls for sure. Boys, Alex Osberg.
Right. And I know Alex and Hannah share many similarities as well. I think both of them are really some of the most motivated people I've ever seen, and that says a lot about how willing they are to see their races to completion and make sure that they're always training to their best ability. So I know that she, like I've said before, again, is going to do phenomenal things next year.
3 minutes into the boys' junior varsity race. Boy, you've been taking abuse all day from guys as they've walked by.
Yeah, it's fun.
You got a group out there now.
Yeah. Oh.
Army's going to step out, and we will bring in the junior varsity champion.
It's on video.
And we'll bring the champion in for the girls from Ridgefield. And as soon as you guys are ready, I'm ready here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, hi.
Introduce yourself. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Eve Nastasi.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell me what went right out there on the course.
Everything, I guess. I've been training all year, took a break during the summer, but I really worked hard every day during the season, so it paid off.
Talk a little bit about running for Ridgefield here, because Ridgefield has a great program. There's so many good runners. I saw a big pack coming through in the varsity race there. Just what's it like being training against people that are that good?
Oh, it's amazing. All the girls are super supportive of everyone else, so it really just helps us and each other. So it gives us a lot of support, and just running every day with our friends just make it a lot better.
What did you think of the course today?
It was a lot better than Wickham.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We've heard that Wickham's a very hilly course, right?
Oh yeah. This one was really great. There's only like 2 big hills, and that was it.
And the weather today has got to play a factor. It's been great.
It was a good day.
Evie, as we watched you run, at one point it seemed like there was a big group gathered together. From what I could tell, and maybe it was different out there. If that was the case, where was that point that you kind of stepped away?
In the beginning, I guess we all just came out as one big Ridgefield mob, and then over time, I guess we just dispersed, and eventually I was able to keep up with the pace of the other girls, and I'm like, I can push it a little bit more, and a little bit more.
Did you set a time for today?
My goal was to finish the finish line without stopping, and hopefully medal, and I did.
I think goals accomplished, Dave.
How about your time in terms of your time? Did you set a goal for time at all?
No, mostly because I don't focus on the time.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Fair enough. Running in the JV race this year, obviously goal's got to be in the varsity race next year. What's the future hold?
I have no idea, but I can't wait though.
There you go.
Are you going to continue to focus on running?
Yes,
definitely. Absolutely. So there you go. The goal is varsity next year and taking it home.
That's it.
See?
That's it.
That's a good goal to have.
Works well.
Thank you.
Overall, as you stepped across the line, good feeling?
Oh, yeah, it was great. Great.
I think that face says it all right there, Dave.
That tells the whole story.
Yeah.
Great job, and congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
All right, she is the champion on the girls' side. We will let her step away, and maybe we should step away as well. I'll get an indication. Yeah, we'll do the same. We're 6.5 minutes in to the boys' junior varsity race, the final race of the day. We thank Evie for stopping by. She is the champion, and away we go for a break. We come back right after this on the HAN Network.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com. Healthy, confident smiles.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
All right, do not adjust your sets. Do not concern yourself with the sound. We are back. We were just enjoying the pictures and the work of Mike Suppy as he's out on the course, and we come back here for a few more minutes. 12 minutes, 8 seconds into our final race of the day. With Dave Stewart, I'm Rob Adams, and what a phenomenal job by Army Noonan of Darien. Army is taken off for the day, but wow, you talk about a future star in this, Dave.
Oh yeah, he was awesome, and it's too bad that he couldn't be out there on the course because he would have had a legitimate. Sorry about that. It's been a long day. Legitimate shot to win today.
I agree.
And he would have been right up there with Eric and Gabe, but he made the most of it and still made an impact at the FCIAC championship.
Well, and he and Eric are such good friends. They were both saying they would have been pushing each other. It would have been fun to see, when you're such good friends, who wins that title, because they would have run together for sure.
Oh, definitely. And Eric was out for Gabe. Gabe stayed up with him too, but it was pretty much Eric in front and everybody else, Gabe just a little behind and everybody else.
Yeah, I expected Gabe Alltop to run well today, and he did. He came in second in the boys' race and the varsity race. But, we have not seen a close race all day.
No. And, that was the way it was expected in the girls' race especially. But, hey, there's all these little there's all little races inside the big race, I guess is how you could say it. There's certain people have personal goals and places or times or whatever. Some people don't have times, as we were talking before, but there's little accomplishments that are either something for the future or just something to shoot for. For some people, it's making the all FCIAC team, first team, which is the top 15 runners. For others, it's just beating a particular time. There's just so many ways to look at this race, and so many winners out here that it's pretty cool.
Coming up on 14 minutes, and many of the crowd have taken off at this point. Certainly with the varsity race over, you imagine that would be the case. Now, what is left of the crowd has shifted over to the finish line as even the stakes have all been pulled up from the starting line. So much of this course is starting to disappear before our eyes.
Yes, and there's other people that have probably moved over to the Waveney Pool area where they do a little presentation at the end of the day for the all FCIAC first and second teams, and kids get recognized, and that's actually pretty cool because everybody's the stress is over, everybody gets to kind of hang out and cheers for each other, and as the names are announced, and it's kind of a fun moment to end the day.
14 minutes and 40 seconds in as we get a look now at the winners of the junior varsity race for the girls. It was Eve Natasi of Ridgefield, Catherine Bracken of Ridgefield as well, Catherine Williams of Wilton, Emma Snyder of Wilton, and Haley Green of Ridgefield. So a full house of Ridgefield and Wilton.
Well, as Eve said, Ridgefield mob. They did well in JV, they did well in varsity, and they're a deep team, and they've been that way for a number of years.
By the way, a tip of the cap to some of the folks who have helped not only bring you the pictures, but the graphics. Joe Forlano was heavily involved in creating the graphics for you today. Eric Gendron directing, Marty Hersom droning, as he is one to do, and Josh Fisher tweeting, AJ Simonowskiing, if we can create a verb, and Mike Suppy and Bill Bloxham and Ellie Hersom, and I know I'm missing a name or two in the mix, but a lot of good people helped put this together today.
Mike's been riding around in the back of that cart all day. He's going to look like a bobblehead when he goes home tonight,
Maybe we can get a Mike Suppy bobblehead.
that would be marketable,
You've got to believe we're pretty close to seeing a finish here. 15:55 coming up now.
It looks like the cart is coming up the final incline here, and we'll cross the road pretty soon. Yeah, you can see the runners coming up the hill here.
And there is the wider shot as the cart getting ready to cross the road. And we've got our first runner from the looks of it from Danbury, I believe. That looks like the orange top of a Danbury Hatter with a Staples runner right behind for sure, the big S.
This could be a good finish here. That doesn't look too far behind. I don't know if the depth is thrown off here.
Yeah. So there is the access road here at Waveney Park, and someone waving a Danbury flag in support. And across the road they go for the final run of the day. And it's just the two of them. Everybody else is way back. Now the noise builds.
It's actually a very dramatic shot when they come up as a group over that final hill.
I don't think the Staples runner is going to be able to finish here. He's trying, but I think this is going to be a win for Danbury.
Okay. He has enough of a kick here.
And indeed, there he goes in 17 flat from what I could see. That's an unofficial 17 minutes. So Danbury does get the win there as more runners make their way in. Staples will take second on that. Of course, for all the results, you want to be reading your work, I'm sure.
We'll be in there, and we'll try to get the all the runners up on FCIAC.net.
So all that will be up as soon as possible.
A lot of cross-country stories over the next couple of days.
And we'll mention it, of course, tomorrow on Coffee Break as well.
Did want to mention, too, Bob Greeny did a great story on Laddie Lawrence, the boys coach at Staples.
Yes.
And
Glad
it's
you brought that up.
It's on the FCIAC site now, and Laddie, of course, went into the National High School Coaches Hall of Fame in the fall or in the spring, and he's retired from teaching now, so he's continuing what he referred to as his life's work.
Yep.
And still enjoying it after being there for seemingly forever.
And Kate Chaplinsky is on her way over with the final champion of the day, so we will bring that champion over as we are just about ready to begin wrapping up our coverage from here at Waveney Park, but certainly want to chat with this final winner of the afternoon. And again, crossing the line from what we could see in about 17 minutes, Dave.
Yes, it looked like 17 flat, and maybe we'll be looking at somebody who will be a contender in the varsity race next year.
And certainly, as we get a better look at the jersey now, definitely a Danbury runner. And it gives him a second as he settles in to catch his breath. And
Bring him in? Okay, great. Brad, you're going to put on one of these headsets.
all right.
Come around, Dave.
Grabs the headset now. He's going to put it on. And he will introduce himself to us and to you. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Brad Fox from Danbury, Junior.
Brad, congratulations.
Thank you.
So take us through the race.
It was a pretty hard race. We started out pretty slow, I think, 5-10 mile, but then I was able to pick it up and get a good time.
And you had a Staples runner really kind of giving you a good race down the stretch.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was right behind me until
really?
the final stretch, and I was like, oh, I got to pick it up.
Did that help you get a final kick there?
Yeah.
Going?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I thought I saw that as well. Kind of as you came across the access road, it looked like you kind of glanced over and, and all of a sudden you seemed to pick up the pace a little more.
Yeah. I heard people calling the Staples guy's name. I was just like, oh, gosh. A little peek over my shoulder, nothing too big. And, he was like coming right in there.
We were talking to one of the Ridgefield runners before about running in such a great program, and you're running for Rob Murray, of course, in Danbury. And just what's it like being part of that program?
It's really good. We're really competitive between the top 8 or 9 guys, which makes it really it allows us to grow more.
Yeah, it's got to be able to push each other in training, right?
Yeah, we get better off each other.
Brad, it looked like you crossed the line in about 17 minutes. Did you have a goal?
I wanted to go sub 17.
Really?
Which I don't think I did. I think I was just like a little bit off. Sorry,
no problem. I think it was, from what I saw, it looked like 17 flat. But Eric Gendron, our director, was telling us you even caught up to the pace car at one point.
Yeah, I did. I was like, why are they going so slow? I had to pass them, and then they passed me right back.
There's only so fast they can go,
Yeah, I know. It was right on a turn. I was like, I had to maneuver around, but.
So is this something you want to continue to do, and do you want to be standing here next year having the same conversation?
Well, I'm hoping I'll be in a more competitive race. It'd be nice to be in the varsity race, and I'm not sure if I'd win that race, but it'd be good to get a better time next year, that's for sure.
Very cool.
Tell me about what you think about the course here, because we've been talking about how great Waveney Park is for cross country.
It's great, yeah. Us guys came up last week to do a workout here just to get used to the course. It's a great course. It's very flat and some hills here and there, but it's smooth.
The last incline, the one thing I've heard from some runners that as you get to the end of the race, you think you're almost there, and it keeps steadily going up and up and up. Is that a tough site, or how'd you feel?
It's tough. It doesn't look like too big of a hill, but in the end of a race, it is one. You just have to push up and then push up the hill, and then eventually it's flat, and you realize, oh wait, now it's time for the kick.
Yep, and then once you come over the road, right?
You gotta go. Like it's 300 meters or so left.
That's it.
Brad, congratulations.
Thank you very
Enjoy
much.
this, and hopefully we will see you again next year.
You too. Thank you very much.
All right, you got it. Brad Fox, he
Thank
is
you.
the junior
Brad,
varsity
thank you.
champion
Congratulations.
from Danbury High School. We probably have one last break in us before we come back and wrap it up, but I need a director to do so. He stepped away from him, so I don't want to do that to him. Now he's ready. We're ready. A final break. We come back and say goodbye right after this on the HAN Network.
Tired of all the bull? Relax and enjoy the experience of buying a car at Panby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram. No bull allowed.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
And back for a final time at Waveney Park in New Canaan for the 2015 FCIAC Cross Country Championship at Waveney Park with Dave Stewart. I'm Rob Adams.
Great day.
Yeah, great day. A lot of great winners. They were all great to talk to, and now they go off and enjoy the awards ceremony and put a wrap on it.
Yeah, and the people who will be recognized individually are 1 through 15, top 15 in boys and girls varsity will be all FCIAC first team. 16 through 30 are all FCIAC second teams. So for them, kudos to them. They're they've made it. It's obviously a very competitive league, and to be in any of those spots is a big deal.
Read all the recaps on FCIAC.net. Dave will have it all for you there. We'll also talk tomorrow more about it on Coffee Break at 11 o'clock. Kate Chaplinsky and myself, Donald Eng as well, with history. And then we all kind of catch our breath on Friday. In fact, I won't even be in the studio on Friday. Saturday we'll be back at it for the long-anticipated and finally about to get out of the way Marinelli Bowl as Lou Marinelli's New Canaan Rams take on John Marinelli's Greenwich Cardinals at Cardinal Stadium in Greenwich. Noon for FCIAC tailgate, 1 for FCIAC game day, and then 3 o'clock for the broadcast. Chris Kalin and I on the call.
It's going to be an interesting game, and I think honestly, I believe the Marinellis will be happy when it's over, because there's talking to Lou the other day, he wants to win, but he doesn't want to see his son lose, and he can't have it both ways.
Nope, can't have it both ways. You can't even really have a tie anymore.
Yeah, that's
true. Greenwich and New Canaan did once have a tie many years ago. They had a 0-0 tie on a terrible day at Cardinal Stadium. But
yeah, I remember that. That was an awful day.
Oh, it was still a grass field.
Yes,
which it was a mud field by the end of that day.
Yeah, that didn't recover for a while after that.
No. A missed field goal as time expired.
But but this week Greenwich and New Canaan always play great games, so we'll see how that goes. New Canaan's been sailing. Greenwich is looking to bounce back from a tough loss to Trumbull, and see what one of them's got to give there.
Thank you for keeping me company, sir.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a fun day.
Been fun for sure. We also want to congratulate all of the winners today. Natalie Sapio of Danbury, who won the girls' freshman race. The boys' freshman champion is Angel Vicioso of Brian McMahon. Hannah DeBalzi won her 3rd straight from Staples High School for the girls' varsity championship. The boys' varsity champion is Eric Vanderels from Brian McMahon. The girls' JV champion, Evie Natasi of Ridgefield, and Brad Fox of Danbury is the boys' junior varsity champion. And with all that said, that'll do it from Waveney Park in New Canaan. We thank you for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon for the 2015 FCIAC Cross Country Championship. Football on Saturday, Coffee Break tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. For Dave Stewart, Armstrong Noonan, Eric Gendron, AJ Simonowski, our entire crew here at Waveney Park in New Canaan, I'm Rob Adams. You enjoy your evening, and we'll see you tomorrow for Coffee Break. But for now, good night from New Canaan.
The preceding has been a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties.